Split-second cops. So, do you think you have what it takes to be a cop? Do people who criticize cops know what it's like to be a cop? Well, I'm going to take you for another ride-along, if you will, on this call. And let's look at the experience of what it's actually like to walk 100 yards in these boots. Not a mile, that's the old saying. Let's walk 100 yards and see what you could do. Now, these are real police calls with real action, and I want you, as you watch this, to call out the danger or stop the video when you think there's going to be a danger or what you think needs to be done. All right, let's not waste any time. Let's get into that. And I want to bring these videos to you as a bit of education about what it's really like and what it takes to be a cop and the sort of thing you're going to be up against. And do you think you can make the grade? Let's see. Let's get in on this call. So this call originated not very long ago on the 27th of July in a city in the United States. The officers got a call for a verbal argument, a disagreement, almost like a domestic call at a home. The call came in at 3:11 in the afternoon, and this was the police response. The officer responding to the call placed himself out at the scene. The call at this point was a dispute, some sort of a domestic dispute between family members. That's all he knows at this point. Nothing else for him to know. Let me give you a look at what he's walking up to the home. This first picture you're going to see is the entranceway to the door that he's walking up to. 10,000 police calls a day where police are walking up to doors just like this. Here's another angle of the same shot from a security camera at the side of the door. Now, some of this is going to appear a bit graphic, but there's not going to be anything really graphic on the screen. We don't show blood and guts here on this channel. We want to try to educate people about what's happening. So let's get ready for this police call. We're going to start it to roll, and you start calling out in your own mind as soon as you see the danger or what it is you think you should do. Let's roll. There's the officer coming up. Notice there's a big hedge, long walkway up. Approaches the door.
Please, Margaret. Hey! No! No! Get back! Get back! I'll get you forced to take physical. No. Get down. Stop it. Get away. Go. No! Stay up. Hey! You got a knife.
You're gonna get tased. Do you hear me? You will get
away.
You will get shot.
Okay.
Put it down. Down. You understand me?
I didn't want to do that.
Okay. Did you let it go? Look at me. Do you have anything else on you?
I'm ready to just go there.
Okay. Listen to what he's telling you. He's done.
I got it.
Do you have it?
Knife's gone.
Now here's the knife that this person was using on the officer. That's a serious kitchen knife with a serious stabbing point and a serious cutting blade. This officer was lucky. This could have been last call, end of watch for this officer, and there could have been a funeral. Fortunately, he sustained only minor cuts, believe it or not, and returned to duty later that shift. The suspect in this case was charged with attempted murder. It could have easily been murder of a police officer, but for the lock of the vest and the equipment, and I gotta believe a couple of angels riding on the shoulder of that cop, that he's alive here today. Unknown to the officer, this man who rushed him was also wanted on a warrant. Guys who I say this all the time on the channel, the ones who have to go back to jail or know they're going back to jail are always the most difficult to arrest. So how surprising was that attack on the officer to you? Did it even happen if it happened so quick that you could not even stop the video or say, oh, attack or whatever? You could barely get the words out of your mouth when that blade was flying towards the officer. That's how quick it happens. That's being said, let's review this now and look for opportunities to perhaps prevent something like this from happening in the future. Let's go over this call one more time. Now we see the suspect opens the door, looks out, sees the police are there, so he knows they're coming. He's already planning what he's going to do. Now as the officer rolls up, you'll notice there's a giant hedge out by the roadway, so you can't really see out to the street very well. and it's a very enclosed walkway that you're going up to, almost like an alley. It may well be that typically what you'll do in a police when you're going to these sort of domestic calls, as it were, you do a slow drive-by once and you do an observation on the property to see what's going on, because lo and behold, you might have some shots coming out after you, or you might hear some things going on, because when the police show up, that's usually when the action can pick up in a domestic situation. Now, as we see the officer coming up, the officer is walking up on his own. He's not waiting for any other backup or partner to come with him. Quite often during the daytime, police work in single-person cars, not two-person cars for doing something. You're way safer going up with two when you're going to a domestic like this, when you don't know what you're walking into. So as the officer gets close to the door, notice, and this is always a telltale sign. I've covered it in other videos before. When you're walking up to a car or a home and someone opens the door before you've knocked it, or before you've told them to open it, or just as you're arriving, that's a danger sign right there. I would just advise you to have your spidey senses on and start going into self-defense mode right at that time. The officer's leaning in. He's obviously sensing right here that he wants to keep his distance from this, whatever it is. So the senses are on. He's thinking something is a little funny here. But wow, look how fast this happens for the copper. Now I'm going to tell you something about training and how it works. What you drill and what you get trained on is what you're going to do in a crisis. That's what you're going to do. What you repeat, what you know. Now this officer, it appears, knows best. Does he actually see the knife before he initiates this move? He's going for either a double leg takedown, like it could be taught in self-defense for jiu-jitsu and some things like that. See, a former football player, a defensive back, and one thing he knows how to do is how to drop someone with a good tackle. He's going to what he knows to do, but it's not the right move in this situation, as we can see why. We'll just continue on a little bit here. 1, 2. 2 fast stabs right in the side of the officer. And the arm, you'll notice here, up in the air, it's still free to continue to stab while the officer is working with the body. So, I'm not trying to be critical of the officer here. Brave officer. Came out of this alive, went right back to work. But the training that some of the police get these days is not sufficient enough to deal with this sort of violence. Typically, police don't get enough training for it. This man still has the knife in his arms, and he is stabbing this officer. You know, I'll just pause here. Whether this officer has a stab vest on, or that's just the benefit of his Kevlar vest, maybe there may be a ceramic plate inside there, I don't know.
See you! Hey! You got a knife! You got a knife!
You're gonna tased. Do you hear me?
Officer gets the knife out of his hand, throws the knife into the home to get it away from the suspect. Watch as the fight finally gets to the ground here. Boom. It's clear this officer goes into the mount. He knows what he's doing, so maybe there's a bit of jiu-jitsu. He is finally doing here what was needed to do at the start, which he's getting control of the arm that's holding the knife. He's finally taking that knife, but as you watch this closely, that knife gets right up to his neck again with some sort of cutting motions by the suspect.
You understand me?
Fortunately, he never made contact.
Okay. Did you let it go? Look at me. Do you have anything else on you?
Tell you, being a cop is tough. Like I said, what you have to have these days is someone always watching your six, someone watching your back. In this case, you got the other policewoman. She's helping the fight with the guy. But somebody's got to keep an eye on the officer's back. For all he knows, there's a brother in there who's going to come out with the knife.
Do you have it?
Let's go.
But did you see how quickly that can happen? I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to go into it here, but I know some people. I have a close associate who's one of the top close quarter combat instructors in the world. There are things you can do in that split second that could have ended that right at the start in the copper's favor. The first part of which is controlling the arm that has the knife. Control that arm. Don't let that knife go at you. And then you move on from there. I'm not going to go into the tactic because I don't like to give away tactics that are the bread and butter of police staying alive. But there are things that can be done, and we need better training for our coppers. because they're coming up against this sort of thing all the time. Now, how did you do on this one? How do you think you would do if it was your day out on the job and you're tired and you're whatever and you're rolling up and you find yourself in that in a split second? So don't be judging cops too harshly until you know all of the facts. But I'll also say we really got to up the training for some of the police so they can learn the tactics that will end these sort of scenarios in a flash. I'm Ross McLean. This is the McLean Chronicles. If you like the breakdown on these videos that I do, you want more content like this, let me know. Give me a follow, subscribe, and give me some questions in the comments. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next video.